Congratulations! You've arrived at max level in New World. But with so many possibilities, where do you start? VannKraken here. In a Tournament Academy episode 3, we'll highlight 5 things you should do right away as a fresh 60 that will set your character and you on a path to enjoy the endgame to the fullest. But wait! Before we get started on exactly what to pursue at 60, we really should cover the foundation of New World's endgame gear score system known as expertise, that governs both our character's overall strength and becomes the guiding force for deciding what activities we should pursue in the endgame with our valuable time. When we hit max level, our inventory screen changes to reveal that each of our gear slots and weapon types has been assigned a numerical expertise rating that starts out as a base level of 500 and can be pushed as high as 625 through a wide range of in-game activities. And in each gear slot, this expertise rating governs the ultimate power level of the items that reside within it. It's important to note that in most cases, weapon or armor pieces that have an item gear score value higher than the expertise level of the slot for that piece will be temporarily reduced in power because the two values are averaged unless you crafted the item yourself. But the good news is that the system is transparent and we can raise our slot expertise and the corresponding gear score in a wide variety of ways. First, by getting random higher value gear drops in open world elite zones, expeditions, or from PvP game modes such as Outpost Rush. Or second, by farming special gypsum and collecting or crafting useful gypsum orbs at special kilns from a bunch of additional activities that can be used in a targeted fashion to raise your score in specific gear slots as you desire. While it may be a bit overwhelming at first, trust in the fact that post-level 60 we'll want to pursue the most impactful and enjoyable ways to raise our expertise and gear score, and in the process make our character stronger. The first activity to pursue as a fresh 60 is to hit the trading post to invest in top-tier weapons and armor. Buying Tier 5 gear directly from the trading post is a great way to give our character an instant upgrading capability right when we hit 60. And our goal is to shop for items with a score as close to 600 as we can find, but to keep within a budget of roughly 50 to 500 gold per piece. As we talked about in our Smart Leveling Guide video, we only purchase better versions of the 2 core weapons we've used consistently from 1 to 60 for now. In this case, our Greatsword and our Spear, and we are able to get some great values on purple epic level items. But why do the item scores of the new weapons we've acquired have a line drawn through them? As we explained in the opening, while we now have a more powerful Greatsword rated at 592, our Greatsword slot expertise is still just the base level of 500, so the effective item score is reduced to 546, the average of the two values. But hey, it's still an instant increase of 89 item score points over our Tier 4 Greatsword rated at 457, which translates into a huge jump of 200 more points of base damage per swing. And even better, as we gain expertise in our Greatsword slot over time, the new weapon will ultimately achieve its full item score value of 592, and we can push it even higher if we choose to hit it with some Umbral Shards down the road. But we are not done after grabbing a new sword and spear. Our shopping list also contains 2 full sets of improved armor as well. First, we buy a set for use in PvE activities known as a ward set, targeting items with the Corrupted Ward perk that substantially reduces damage taken from the many corrupted mobs encountered throughout Eternum in corruption portals, multiple elite chest zones, and the Depths, Dynasty, and Tempest Heart expeditions. Second, we snag some steals on armor pieces specifically for use during PvP activities that carry the Resilient perk, which reduces critical damage taken only from other human players when we are flagged in the open world or participating in PvP Arena, Outpost Rush, or Wars. And lastly, we purchase some inexpensive flawed cut gems to customize and buff the protection offered by both sets of armor, and some Tier 4 food and potions to complete our instant character makeover. All told, we spend just 244 gold on our PvE armor set to get a gear score boost from 487 to 510. 342 gold for a PvP armor set rated at 515, and a paltry 250 gold to push the average score of our Great Sword and Spear from 450 to 548. For only about an hour of our time and a minimal investment of just over 750 gold, we get a major upgrade in both our characters' damage output and survivability by hitting the trading post right after getting to level 60. Now that we've purchased some additional power and protection, our second Fresh 60 activity is to unlock a variety of key locations on the map as soon as possible. Since New World still lacks Azoth charged mounts that many players have been crying out for, we head out on foot for some cardio and get to work unlocking 3 key map features: main cities, expeditions, and fast travel points, also known as spirit shrines. When we enter Endgame mode, recruitment channel chat, or global chat if we dare to be so brave and amused, will constantly offer opportunities for us to engage in rapidly forming level 60 group activities like joining an open world PvP, going on elite chest runs in Shattered Mountain, cleansing corrupted portals in Ebonscale Reach, or taking down dangerous poultry of unusual size during the holidays in multiple locales where turkeys range free. Many of these spontaneous side pursuits allow us to rapidly gain territory and weapon XP, pursue the PvP rewards track, collect a wealth of expertise bumps, or grab seasonal items that are only available for a limited time. In addition, we won't be able to use the Expedition Group Finder to start or join parties at dungeon locations that we have not yet visited in person. So making runs to the Lazarus Instrumentality in Reekwater, Gardens of Genesis in Ebonscale Reach, and Barnacles and Black Powder in South Cutlass Key should be in our immediate travel plans, so we can start doing runs that yield sought-after gear drops that also bump expertise, and orbs to use at the gypsum kiln for further directed gear score acceleration. Most difficult of all will be surviving the run to unlock the Tempest Heart portal and expedition at the top of the map in Shattered Mountain's Mirkgard, which may require help from some friends. So as a Fresh 60, it should be a top priority to take a few hours to gain access to the broad swaths of the map, including entire territories, that we didn't have a chance to visit while questing from level 1 to 60. If you've taken a bit of extra time to level smart and boost your 2 main weapons over 10 skill points, congratulations are in order, as you'll be able to contend with either loners or small groups of dangerous enemies, including angry goats, that you'll encounter in higher tier zones. But keep in mind, you don't always have to fight your way to your destination, as running straight through mobs with some random evading works just as well. With improved gear and broad access to the map, our third Fresh 60 activity is to get our 2 main weapons to their maximum potential. Weapon leveling to 20 skill points can feel like a slow grind or go much faster depending on how you go about it. And whether you are pushing your character in the direction of tanking, healing, or DPS, it's key to realize that powerful weapons provide freedom in New World to successfully tackle more challenging zones and higher difficulty group PvP or PvE content, like Outpost Rush or Expeditions. Many weapons don't truly start to sing and reach their full potential in our build until we get in the range of 15 skill points or higher. So we'll want to consistently push into PvE and PvP combat situations to keep unlocking additional perks. And when it seems like our weapon XP bar gains for kills really start to tail off, it's time to move on to tougher territories with level 55 plus mobs like Great Cleave, Ebonscale Reach, Eden Grove, Shattered Mountain, or Brimstone Sands that yield more XP. Or even better yet, we can visit the elite points of interest in the mid-tier zones to level our weapons at the most efficient rate possible. My personal favorite spots for weapon grinding are Brightwood Isle in the middle of Brightwood, Eridanus and Restless Shores, or Stone Skull Fort at the southern tip of Cutlass Keys. We can rapidly gain tons of skill points hitting mobs in these lucrative elite locations, even if our weapons are already in the 15-point or higher range. And they also feature quick enemy respawn rates, access to some valuable resources during combat downtime, and are comfortable to solo right after hitting 60 as long as you didn't rush too fast to get there. With our 2 main weapons hitting 20 points or close to it, we'll be able to pursue the toughest content in the game, and we can start to tackle additional weapon choices. For me, a ranged option like the bow will be the next up. Our fourth thing to do as a fresh 60 is to build up our character's strength with a quick and efficient daily gypsum orb farming routine. Hear me out, we do not have to commit ourselves to completing a list of daily activities if it makes New World feel more like a job than a game. However, if we take just an hour or less a day to knock out a simple to-do list of endgame activities, we can get 5 or 6 gypsum or gypsum orbs that will reward us with as many gear bumps to boost the gear of our choice each day, and feel like we are making constant progress on our expertise grind. So we'll purposely keep our list of recommended daily orb farming pursuits short and sweet here. First, harvesting raw materials in the world for 5 minutes or less will generally net us 3 diamond gypsum, or possibly more during holiday events. It can be used to craft 1 gypsum orb that can then be used to bump 1 gear slot of our choice. Second, we'll want to use our 3 faction PvE or PvP missions each day that yield bonus faction tokens. I personally run a ton of these in Brightwood because the missions are geographically focused right around a nearby fast travel point. We can literally knock out 3 PvE missions or 2 PvP missions in about 10 to 15 minutes. And with the faction tokens that we earn, we can return to the vendor and buy 2 gypsum orbs, good for 2 more expertise slot bumps. And just as a quick reminder, we need to get our character to the 5th level of faction reputation as quickly as possible to unlock all the items in the faction store where we can take advantage of the daily orb purchase offer. Third, we can craft a daily topaz gypsum attunement potion from 5 of the various special arcana items that we gather around Eternum, like earthshell turtle tails or spinefish fins. When we use the potion, we have a full 2 hours to farm level 55 or higher bosses that will drop up to 10 topaz gypsum per day while the potion is active. My favorite spot for this is Skysong Temple in Ebonscale Reach, where Maiden Ping and her sorcerer bodyguard buddy become ready and willing topaz pinatas. And what's even better is that Maiden Ping will also drop up to 3 obsidian gypsum per day while she's coughing up the topaz. So just 30 minutes or so in Skysong Temple wind up giving us 10 topaz gypsum that yield 2 gypsum orbs, and 3 obsidian gypsum that allow us to craft 1 more. And in case you weren't keeping score, a quick tally of our daily activities rewards a 6 gypsum orb haul gained in just about an hour or less of playtime. Again, we don't have to do this every day, but it's an awesome routine to boost our expertise progress while playing exclusively solo. Our 5th and final Fresh 60 activity is to pursue other endgame content that we enjoy to further boost our character progress. New World's endgame expertise and gear leveling system is a bit grindy and is not universally popular for sure, but the bright side is that we can earn additional leveling rewards by pursuing just about any kind of content that we enjoy in the game. For Fresh 60s, there are a wide variety of activities for us to explore with a positive loot and expertise payoff, including solo elite chest runs and level 55 plus points of interest that can be undertaken by new endgame players. One particularly easy location to plunder is Caminus in Shattered Mountain that has 2 elite chests that can be raided for a chance to get gear rated up to 550 that can trigger expertise bumps once per day. Elite chest runs and tougher level 55 plus points of interest are either a spontaneous or a regularly scheduled activity depending on the server our character is on that we again can choose to partake in once per day. Running with a group ranging in size from just a handful to a full Zerg of 50 or more players, the goal is to kill mobs for experience, take out bosses for high-value loot and obsidian gypsum drops, or simply raid elite chests for higher gear score, and rare item drops, or smaller chests for a ton of crafting mats, cooking ingredients, or other potentially rare items. Level 55 plus expeditions, either in regular flavor or in 10 levels of progressively more difficult mutated form, Reward players with a combination of rare gear drops, expertise bumps, umbral shards for upgrading weapons from level 600 to the ultimate score of 625, and sacks of coins. 3v3 arenas and 20v20 outpost rush are instance player versus player games that offer PvP reward track experience, up to 2 gypsum orbs per day in each mode, as well as other rewards like experience bumps from weapon chests and umbral shards. And finally, Brimstone Sands quest lines offer the highest level elite open world weapon quests and a bunch of gypsum orbs just for completing story quests in the super fun new desert zone. Just don't forget to do the quick Strider of the Sands quest to get a special sunscreen before you enter, or you will certainly end up extra crispy and perhaps a bit salty as well. Drawing from this pool of additional activities and even more options available for PvE players and crafters that we'll cover in future episodes, we can quite easily turn the 5 to 6 orbs earned from the daily farming activities we've already discussed into 8 to 12 orbs per day, in addition to gear drops, if we have more time to play, all while pursuing only the content that we enjoy the most. All told, fresh level 60 players now have more options to build their character and get weapons and armor to the ultimate level of 625 than ever before, and most importantly, to have fun while doing it. And with so many activities to choose from that all yield better gear drops and bumps in expertise, it really makes the endgame grind that is part of the fabric of MMOs much easier to bear, even for players who don't really enjoy it. If you've happened to join us and have not yet reached the endgame, you might want to see how to level smart from 1 to 60 by clicking the link in the corner above. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, or to join us for a live stream here on YouTube or on Twitch. I thank you for watching Eternum Academy and hope you take boosting your expertise in New World as a fun and rewarding journey rather than just a grindy final destination. This is VannKraken, and I am out.